Wow, that's not quite right. There was no intro. We need an intro. That's better. That's better. Click the wrong button, so we had no intro. We got to do it though. We got to do it. Hello everyone. Good evening. Well, depending on where you are in the world, it may be afternoon, it may be morning, it may be in the middle of the night. But regardless, hello guys. Hope you're all doing pretty well today. I'm looking particularly orange today. Why is that? Why do I look so orange? I don't know. Maybe I've messed up with the settings or something like that. I don't know. But you have to just ignore that one. Maybe it's the blue shirt. Wearing a USA shirt today. Representing. So yeah, maybe that's kind of contrasting against my skin color. 4 teams remain. 2 games in Matchday 7 and another 2 games in Matchday 8, which is the most important thing that people are still making the mistake on. They're still making the mistake thinking that the Matchday 8 is just going to contain the final. It's not. It's also going to contain the third place playoff. So important to note. So important to note. So yes, therefore we really do need to be relaxing a little bit about worrying about teams getting knocked out. It's got to a point where it's fine to go all in on whichever teams you prefer. I've made no secret that the 2 teams that I prefer in this round are going to be France and England. So I'm going to heavily back France and England in this round. But yeah, I mean, look, you never know what's going to happen. It's all a little bit of luck when it comes to these fantasy games, isn't it? But we can try our best to try and analyze what is the most likely thing to happen. And yeah, hopefully we'll get there. So yes, let's take a look at my team where I'm at right now. That's not the right page. I'm not doing well with my buttons today, am I? We will get there. We will get there. So that's going to be... This is what I'm waiting for the lineups, which is going to massively impact my plans, whatever I end up doing. But really, right now, guys, can be totally honest with you, I'm not really sure. I think I want to have 2 goalkeepers. The only 2 issues I have in my team are Vargas and Manzambi. So it's really a case of like, what else do I do? You have so many free transfers and not really much to do with them because so far I've done a reasonably good job of predicting who's going to make it through to the next round. So I'm thinking right now Pickford probably comes in here just to give myself, 2 attempts at a clean sheet. I don't think I want to do a dead spot. I know some people are saying, should we go for dead spots anywhere? I don't know. I think the problem is, who are the dead spot players? It's like Henderson or Kante, isn't it? If we're looking for players who are like literally bottom level price. We've got Rissa as a goalkeeper. You're not going to want to take up a France spot with Rissa, unless you genuinely don't want to go all in on France. I think I do. Trafford, they're potentially there as well. Juan Garcia, potentially. But yeah, Rissa's really the only one in the goalkeeper position. For midfield, it's Henderson or Kante. I think I'd rather go for Henderson than Kante. Just give you leave yourself open to going for that 6th France player right now. Defender dead spots. Medina is the cheapest guy, and he's going to play. So I do think Medina is still a player worth having, just because he's the cheapest defender. Well, cheapest outfield player outside of goalkeepers. He's the cheapest player in the entire game remaining, and he's likely to play. So I think Medina, for that reason, in fact, Ashley has just asked that exact question in the chat. Yeah, Medina is the cheapest guy in the entire game who will play. So I think if you've got him already, great. If you don't have him, you're trying to save some money. Again, great. Forward spots, if you want to do a dead spot there, I mean, you can't, can you? You can't do a dead spot in the forward position. The forwards are just too powerful. Pick 3 out of Messi, Mbappe, Kane, and Ayarthabal, and that's it, right? There's not much else you can do. But for my team, I am having some difficulty figuring out exactly what to do. There's potential to downgrade Koundé and save some money that way. I'd quite like to get Reece James into my team. I don't really want Lisandro Martinez. I do think England will score. No chance for Alvarez. I don't see why. Argentina have like the weakest projected goals of the round, and of the goals that we're expecting Argentina to score, which is limited. I mean, it's limited. The chances of Messi being involved is like probably at what, 60, 70%. The chance of someone like Alvarez being involved, it drops to something like probably 20%, something like that. So the drop off is just too extraordinary for me. But yeah, that said, I am struggling in midfield in particular how to get all the players that I want. The problem is, because we've got 4 big teams left in the competition, everyone's expensive. There are no cheap guys anymore, or very, very few. Baena, we've already kind of seen problems with him getting those early substitutions. It's frustrating. So got a couple of questions here. Is Gordon a sell? No, I don't see any reason why Gordon should be a sell. In fact, actually, Argentina have conceded a few goals recently to left wingers. So actually, I quite like Gordon. Is it safe to drop Lamine? I think so. In terms of betting against the crowd, I think it's safe, because actually Lamine Yamal is not actually owned by that many people compared to, the likes of Elise, Dembele, Bellingham, who are far more popular in midfield. So, in terms of rank risk, he is reasonably low risk. But like in terms of, whether he'll score points or not, there's no such thing as a premium that is low risk. There's literally no such thing. If you are removing a great football player from your team, then there's every chance it's going to go wrong. That's whether that's Kane, Mbappe, Messi, Elise, Dembele, Bellingham, Yamal, Yarthabal even. Any of these guys. Would you sell Baena? I mean, if you can find someone better, but at that price tag, you probably can't. What do I think about Danny Olmo? I mean, if you saw his assist last match day, yeah, you might understand that maybe he's been a little bit fortunate. I mean, look, he's an okay pick, but people saying there's a problem with the sound. It seems fine on my end. I wonder if it's a YouTube problem. Let's see. Is there anything stream health? The bit rate's a little low, apparently. I don't actually know how to resolve that. Everything else looks okay. My audio's fine. Most people in the chat saying the audio is fine. No, I think it may be a minority. Maybe the internet issues are on your end. Who knows? But regardless, we'll get back to this. Just close and open the video again. Yeah, some people are suggesting just refresh the stream. Maybe that's going to help. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Baena, Olmo, for the fact that there is such a significant difference in their price, I don't actually see them as being super different in terms of their output potential. So if we go midfielders, Olmo's what, 7.7? Yeah, 7.7 for Olmo, 6 for Baena. So I don't really know if I see that as a worthwhile transfer. I think I do just categorically prefer Baena to Olmo. Not because Baena's a better pick. I don't think Baena is a better pick. And if he's, not even playing, if he's not starting today, then obviously that's going to change that. But for a 1.7 million price difference, like, that is huge, man. That's huge. Like, at this stage of the game where money is so scarce, like, it's frustrating. There's not enough cheap players really to pick from. It's tough out there. So if I go to player pool and look at Reece James, is a player I really want to get into my team somehow. I'd really want him, but it would only leave me 5.7 for this final midfield spot. And I'm not really sure how to free up more money. The only way I can kind of think to do it is maybe, if I was to take out these guys maybe go for some slightly cheaper options, like bringing Digne here. Like, I mean, Koundé's like not even really enough of a difference, really. But if I was to bring Digne in here, I think I am going to sell Cucurella, to be fair. I just can't see a world in which France don't score. So I'm thinking of doing this. Is Spence 100% not starting? I don't know. A lot of people are predicting Spence to start, but there's been absolutely nothing concrete whatsoever. Like, no, it's only been predictions. But then a lot of people are also predicting Spence not to start. So, I don't know. I think there is like a significant chance Spence will start, but I don't know how significant that will be. Whether O'Reilly drops out, does Reece James drop out? I don't know. Does Reece James go into midfield if Rice is still, dealing with some issues? I don't know, man. Maybe I just need to avoid them all. Maybe I just need to forget about it. Let's bring in Martinez for a second here again. That would leave me 6.4. But I don't know if I need it. How much is Spence? 4.5? 4.5. Where are you, Jed? 4.5. So, I mean, like, I guess that would help, free up a little bit of money. But, like, it's so dependent on who's starting for France and Spain. I think that's going to tell us so much about what kind of players we can pick. Because if we're looking for cheap guys in the England game, you may be looking at McAllister for Argentina. What time are the lineups out? They should be out in about 15 to 20 minutes. But unless we get some early leaks, which is a very good chance we will. We might get some early leaks, but we'll have that confirmed officially in about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not playing Max Captain, no. Porro starting, no Pedri, says Hargunsi. Spain's is out. Where are you finding this, guys? Can you point me towards a source, please? And yeah, I cannot reiterate enough that I am very much not using my Max Captain. In fact, I should probably put a big... I know I'm going to have to answer this question a million times. It was the same a couple of weeks ago with the clean sheet shield, wasn't it? Barcola over Due. I don't know. Well, show me the source, guys. I don't want you to just tell me what the Spain lineup is. People control in the chat. I need an actual source for these claims, guys. So tell me where you're seeing this, because a lot of the time people say, "Oh, the lineup's out," and all they're doing is looking at the predicted lineup on like FOTMob or Live Score or something like that. So source or didn't happen. Any reason for not using the max captaincy? I just think there's going to be more chaos in the final round, and more chaos means things are more difficult to predict. And if things are more difficult to predict, using a booster that benefits you in basically doing the prediction for you really helps out. I also think this match day is going to be lower scoring generally than match day 8. So I think there's going to be less opportunities of this match day compared to next match day in terms of finding that really high scoring pick. It's on their Instagram. What's Spain's Instagram? Let's check it out. I have to say, I've never used any national team's Instagram account or any football team's Instagram account to get team news. Is it this video? I'm looking at a video right now. I'm not going to throw it on screen just in case it's like copyright protected. Is it just all of these players signing their signatures on screen? Is this what I'm looking at? OneFootball also published the lineup. Official or prediction? Big difference. Big difference. We can check out OneFootball. If they are happy with it as a locked-in lineup, then I'm happy with it. No, they're predicted. Wait, no. Yeah, they're predicted. No. We are not counting this. I'm sorry, guys. We're not counting predicted lineups. I'm sure that Spain Instagram video might be legit, but it's jarring to watch. We'll wait. We'll wait. I'm just seeing predicted. Oh, is that video? Just wait till the end of the video. Oh, do they finally get on with it? So jarring having to go watch the whole thing. Right, can I skip? How do I skip through videos on... I'm just going to throw it on screen, guys. Like, this is what I've been trying to watch for, like, 5 minutes. Just get on with it, man. Okay, we will wait patiently. Instagram for team leads, man. This is why I don't do it. Super chat here from Mohammed, who says, would you downgrade Haaland to Iglesias, who might play in the third place game? No. To upgrade Trossard, Brahim, Hakimi, and Porro to Dembele, Doué, Koundé, and Reece James? No, probably not. I would go Haaland to, if you want to go for the cheapest forward I would personally go for is a Yarthabal. And if that means that you have to go someone slightly cheaper than like a Doué, I mean, some people are saying Doué is not even going to start, so you might not even be able to go for Doué. So yeah, I'd definitely go for a Yarthabal instead of Iglesias, and then that you probably will have... Oh my god, did I just miss it? It's repeating. Oh my word, this is the most jarring video I've ever watched in my life. Hurry up, man. Too busy reading super chats. But yes, no, the answer is no, I would not go for Iglesias. It may mean that you can't go for Doué. Downgrade Doué to someone cheaper. That's what I would do. We'll find out soon. Okay, stop. And now I've got a massive pause icon in front of it. Well, we got the lineup. Just be normal. Post a picture. Post a picture. Anyway, here's the lineup. Simon, Pedro Porro, probably Kabasi behind that play button, probably Laporte behind that play button, probably Cucurella behind that play button, Rodrigo, Fabian, Olmo, Lamine Yamal, Alex Baena, and Yarthabal. So no Pedri again, no Llorente at right back. Porro's safe in that regard. So there you have it. Baena safe, no Marino. So back to the drawing board as far as that one is concerned. Not really sure what to do about that. Am I going to put random players in your lineup like last time, weirdo? Maybe. If I feel like I want to do that. See, not predicted. I never claimed that the Instagram was predicted. I claimed that the... what was it? What other page you told me that someone told me to go on was predicted. It literally said predicted on screen. But no, this is real. This is real. It's just jarring. Okay. We have a problem. I have a problem. I have a problem. And it's how to resolve a problem like Manzambi. It's just so annoying. There's no cheap midfielders I like. So what's the solution? Do I just downgrade someone big and then bring in like a Gordon? Is that the solution? Could Marino be worth a shout even though he's not starting? I mean, I guess maybe, but I'm not huge on that idea. Buy Gordon. If I had 7 million ready to go, I would. I don't know how I'm going to free up 0.6. I mean, I don't even really want Lisandro Martinez. Dead spot your goalkeeper. Go one goalkeeper. Yeah, but like, here's the issue with going one goalkeeper. Let's just think about this. If I go for just Magnon, based on the current goalkeeper, well, clean sheet odds, I have a 24% chance of getting a clean sheet. If I go for 2 goalkeepers, then I have I'm going to be careful how I word this. I'll have 0.5 5-5 based on numbers right now. So right now I have a 0.24 projected clean sheets from my goalkeeper spot. If I make a second goalkeeper transfer, I've got a 0.55. So over 0.5 clean sheet projection for the match day in my goalkeeper slot. So like I'm more than doubling my chance of getting a clean sheet if I make the Pickford transfer, which is quite powerful. Swap Elise for Doué. Elise's going nowhere. If anyone goes, it'll be Dembele in midfield. Which, I mean, like, to be fair, like, that could be interesting. So let's see here. If I were to take out Dembele, which I'm not super, like, keen on. If Doué's playing, great. Then could I also have Gordon? Would I have to go down to McAllister? Maybe I'd have to go to McAllister instead of Gordon. No, I wouldn't. I'd still have 6.5 to spend on a defender here, which is pretty significant. To the extent where I could even just keep Cucurella here and actually go Digne there. Would that be advisable? Spreads my risk a little bit. So yeah, there is that option. Dembele over Elise, in my opinion. That's just a result of Dembele scoring more than Elise last week. Elise's been far more proactive, and he's 0.5 cheaper. So he's Elise's taking more shots than Dembele, creating more. But like, if I'm totally honest, I just want both. I want both. Having both just saves such a headache. Sometimes one will do well, sometimes the other will do well. I know Dembele's been more explosive, but I think Elise is putting up the better numbers. Like, what if we get another, like, a huge point, another 10 points or something from Dembele? It's not worth it, is it? Maybe the play is just to go, like, someone really cheap here. Or keep Manzambi. I mean, there is also the thought to just keep Manzambi and play with 4 men in midfield. If I did that, then go Digne here. You know what? I'm going to zoom out just so I can do both at the same time and look at what I'm doing. I go Digne here. And I still have 3 free transfers. Sorry, did I say Medina start? I meant Tagliafico is the cheapest guy who's going to be starting. Why on earth earlier was I saying Medina's going to start? Your maths for calculated clean sheet odds isn't correct. It's only a slight increase in the clean sheet odds. That's why I was very careful to say projected clean sheets and not percentage chance of a clean sheet. That's why I chose my words carefully. So my maths was correct in the words that I chose to use. Of course, it's far more complicated than that. Like, if both keep 0 clean sheets, then I gain nothing. If, you know, Magnon keeps a clean sheet and Pickford doesn't, then I gain nothing. So it is more complicated than that, of course. So, okay, if I were to do that, then I could also do you out potentially. Who's the cheapest? Cheapest on the market is going to be like Jordan Henderson. I could take out Cucurella and put in someone I really like Reece James. And I could even upgrade Baeno if I wanted to, but I don't think I would do that. I could upgrade Tagliafico. But to who? No, I kind of like Tagliafico, to be fair. Kind of like him. Paredes, he is a cheap one. Paredes actually dealing with some injury issues himself. Get Olmo in. Olmo, for me, is just not worth 7.7 million. And I know people say he will because he got an unlucky assist last game, but he's not. He's not worth 7.7 to me. Like, Due is better than him, I think. Gordon is better than him, I think, as a pick. And these guys are cheaper. So there's just no world in which I go for Olmo. If I already had Olmo, I'd be more than happy to keep him. But yeah, no, definitely not a priority buy. Do you believe in James at the start of the team? Do I think he'll start? Yes, I do think he probably will start, yeah. But to say that I'm confident in that is maybe a slightly different equation. Struggling here, guys. I can't lie. I am struggling. Do we just go Consa, play it a little safer with minutes? That would actually allow me to go... Oh, I can't do Bayern to Gordon because I'm already maxed out on England now. Would I really dare go 0 Spain? Barkler starts, knows Due. Interesting. They're going to be out on here yet. Not yet. We'll wait, just so it's easier for me to display to you guys. But people saying Barkler playing, Due on the bench. I'm assuming Digne starts. The reason people are maybe picking Henderson is because he is the cheapest midfielder in the game remaining, alongside N'Golo Kante. Neither are going to start. Neither of them are going to play. There's no one for... Is there anyone for 6'2" who's likely to play? Other than Baena. Let's figure this out. In midfield. So, what am I looking for? I'm looking for 6'2" or less. So, no Henderson, no Kante, no... maybe... But probably not worth the risk. Unless you got spare money, I'd rather go for these than like Henderson if you have money in the bank. Paredes, maybe not. DePaul, maybe not. He's another player who might be out. Paz, no. Pino, no. Palacios, maybe not. Manu, no. Zai Emery, no. Kone, is Kone starting? I mean, if he is. I think I do prefer Rabiot, though, if possible. But that's going to be like an extra point too. Thoughts on James instead of Koundé? Yeah, you definitely could if you're happy to take the risk on his minutes. No Kone, so it's Rabiot and Tchouaméni. Rabiot is interesting. Honestly, man, there's just not enough. There's nothing here like that's super interesting. Could go McAllister here, but how do you fund that? How do you fund it? You fund it. I want to keep Koundé. 4.4 defenders. Do they exist? There's like Molina. Spence. I'm 0.1 short. How do I resolve that? I really do think I want 2 goalkeepers this week. I really do think that's what I want. Is Gahey an upgrade over Spence? If I knew Spence was going to play, then I would prefer Spence. I'm struggling to predict England's back four this week because there's far more availability than there was last week. And also, you had players like... What's now? Now James is available. We now have the kind of issue with Spence coming on and playing really well. I think Konsa looks good for minutes. I think Gahey looks good for minutes. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Want someone with some attacking. What I'm looking for in my defenders at this stage in the tournament is pretty much not centre backs. I'm looking for attacking players who will get subbed off early. Attacking defenders who will get subbed off early to maximise my chance of getting points in what is likely to be 1-1 draws all over the place in these semi-finals. It's going to be a frustratingly low-scoring match day, and I'm trying to find little edges here. I mean, to be fair, if I was to go without Pickford, and maybe I went Garcia here, maybe. What would that allow me to do? Could I do anything interesting then? I mean, possibly. Still think I want Dina. Still think I want Kunde. Still think I want O'Reilly. So it's just this last defender spot and this last midfielder spot that I'm unsure about. If I were to go try this strategy, then I mean, the other option is just to go like for a really cheap defender. And then they'll give me loads of money to spend on that last position. 7.8. I'm not actually sure this is worthwhile. I'm not sure this is worthwhile. I'm going back to Pickford. There's not enough interesting shouts out there. You're just like picking randomly and hoping to get lucky. I want more than that. Conts are back in here. And 6.2 for a midfielder. Got to be something in there. I'm really struggling, man. Yamal will cook. If you like Yamal, go for him, man. What about Pedro Porro? He's starting. If you want to, but I mean, I'm taking out Cucurella, and in my opinion, Cucurella is the better pick than Pedro Porro. So, you know, for me personally, I'm happy to bet against the Spain defense. I want to kind of go all in on one side of the draw. A lot of people would prefer to spread things out very evenly, but I can't see a world in which Spain keep a clean sheet. And the chances of getting an attacking return from a defender is not super high. Will Tagliafico start? I think he will. I have no Argentina defensive midfield. Am I cooked? No, not at all. Tagliafico is only worth going for because he's the cheapest player in the game who will play. Rashford underrated? He's not even going to start, man. Tagliafico for Medina. I'm losing a player for the sake of 0.3 million. Spain will score. Yeah, good chance Spain will score. Good chance. I don't think it's guaranteed. I think France are more likely to score than Spain. But I'm kind of hoping. I mean, for example, we saw Spain against Portugal, for example. They didn't score until the 90th minute. Now, if I go for Kunde and Dina, these guys are probably going to be subbed off between the 80th and 90th minute. So if Spain leave it late to score again, like they did against Portugal, then, you know, these are the kind of defenders who can genuinely keep clean sheets. Who do you reckon can stop France's attack in the Prem? No one, man. They've got the best attack in world football. It's crazy. 1-1 extra time, Spain win. Yeah, I mean, again, like, if the goals are late, then great. This is why I'm kind of trying to pick defenders that I think will get subbed off early, essentially. Like, intentionally. That's Tagliafico fits that bill. O'Reilly fits that bill. Kunde does. Dina can. To be fair, I think Dina's been playing a little bit more than that, hasn't he? 90 minutes there, 90 minutes there, 78 there against Sweden. Do we count that? Don't know. 90 minutes there. So maybe Dina is not fully in that bracket, but he's certainly more so than a Saliba or an Upamecano, plus he's cheaper. Cucurella could have attacking returns, plural. Can we see Spain really? I know there's a lot of Spain fans out there, but can we really see them scoring multiple goals against France? I don't know. If you want to back Spain, fine. I'm trying to back one side of the draw, and I'd rather back France than Spain. I'm trying to play a bit more of a high risk, high reward strategy. And if you don't like that and you want to pick a super balanced team with essentially like 4 players from each team, or 5 players from each team almost, that'd be 4, wouldn't it? 4 would take you to 16. So 4-4-3 on teams, and you want to play it super, super balanced, then absolutely. High risk, high reward, and backing the favourite. That's the exact strategy that I'm going for, yeah. Because most people will spread out. Most people will go, okay, we'll go 4 France, 3 Spain, 4 England, 4 Argentina, something like that. That's what most people will do. But I'd rather go all in. So the lineups are out on the website now. I think they should be. Let's see if they're on like FOTMob. So we've got lineups on FOTMob, guys, just so you can see it a little bit better. Magnon, Digne, Saliba, Upamecano, Koundé, Rabiot, Tchouaméni, Barcola, Elise, Dembele, and Mbappe. So I guess the headlines are Barcola is in instead of Doué. Digne maintains his spot ahead of Hernandez, and Tchouaméni, returning from injury, comes in instead of Kone. I don't believe there is any changes from last game for Spain. I think it's identical lineup, so which means no Pedri, yes, Ruiz. It means Porro, again, keeping his place instead of Laporte. So, yeah, no change for Spain. And 2 changes for France. How does max captain work? Basically, at the end of the match day, whoever scores most points in your team will automatically be assigned the captain's armband and have their points doubled. That's how that works. Still predicted lineups for France? No, it says predicted if it is predicted. So this will be official now. I mean, we can come back and check in 20 minutes, just in case, but I'm not using max captain, no. Ooh, righty-ho. Let's get back to the drawing board here. 6.2. Can't even go for a Kone. Marino not starting. Do we just go for Marino and see what he can do off the bench? Could be dangerous. Super chat here from Mark. Thank you very much, Mark. Says 5.1 for a defender. I have Cucurella, O'Reilly, Digne, Konsa already. Who do you reckon? Or is it -3 Martinez to Pickford? No. Wouldn't do that. Wouldn't take that -3. Definitely not worth it. Okay to get Upamecano or anyone else. I would have 6 England players if I get Pickford. Yeah, would not take the -3. I think I'm hoping most of you guys are going to be in a situation where you do not need to take any minus points hits now, unless your team is in tatters. But a lot of the moves we're making generally are sideways moves. The only moves that are realistically going to improve your team is removing players who are either out of the competition or not starting. That's pretty much the only way you can improve your team at this point. So going for, like, Martinez to Pickford, things like that, just totally not worth it. Comedy Addict has pointed out that there's 1,500 viewers and only 100 likes. Come on, guys, smack a like on for Dan. I would also really appreciate that, yeah. Yeah, I always forget to do the like reminder. We're 40 minutes into the stream. Please, drop a like. Get a super sub in, Dan. Got a higher ceiling. I don't disagree with you. Plus, they're an easy sub out. And we know that Marino is going to get subbed on. We know he's going to get subbed on. So basically, I have 2 choices. I either go for someone who may or may not start tomorrow. And that's going to be someone like Gonzalez, maybe. Who, has been getting subbed on, has been getting decent minutes, but not really providing much. Got 3 tackles there, to be fair. Did he get any tackles here? I got an assist there. He has been subbed on, and some people saying Gonzalez may start. We're not going to know about that till tomorrow, unless our good friend Gaston there's anything to reveal. But it doesn't seem like it. Apparently not. Yet. Things can all change before deadline. That's the fun of it. Yeah, so do we do that? It's like Paredes, will he start? Unsure. Even if he does, what are we realistically hoping for there? Palacios. Not going to play, is he? Super Sub Marino. Marino winner is written in the stars. I mean, he's done it twice in a row now. So, can he do it again? Can he do it again? Very, very possibly. Very possibly. Going back to the defenders, was it 5.2 or less? Just before I get distracted again, which I will. Like 5. Was it 5.2 or less? No, 5.1. Okay. It's a little tougher. I'll just go England. If you're going to go for Pickford anyway, and you're not going to do that now, just go for an England defender. You've got Mark Gahey, really reliable for minutes. I think Konsa is pretty reliable for minutes as well. Can't remember if you said you had O'Reilly or not. You do. Yeah, perhaps Konsa's the answer then. Why not Upamecano? You said 5.1 or less. Upamecano's 5.3. A little bit too pricey. A little pricey. Which Spain player to captain? For me, none. I guess you go for Yamal if you're going to captain a Spain player, but I mean, come on. Mbappe. Who could be the best 12th man? Yamal if you don't have him. Dembele if you don't have him. Elise if you don't have him. Bellingham if you don't have him. Messi if you don't have him. Kane if you don't have him. One of them. If you haven't got all of Elise, Dembele, Bellingham, Messi, Kane, Mbappe, and Yamal, your best 12th man is the one that you don't have out of those. That's what I would say. I still have one free transfer after this, by the way. I wonder if there's any, like, tweaking I can do here. Like, if I was just to give up on Tagliafico, which I don't think I want to do, but if, it would take me to 6.5. Is it worth going Anderson for, like, just for the sake of tackle points? How desperate am I for, like, individual points? Chouameni? He's not going to get an attacking return realistically, is he? McAllister's not doable. Well, he is if I go Konsa down to someone. I don't know. Who do I go for? Magnon or Pickford over Martinez? I'd just keep Martinez probably. Max captain or clean sheet shield for this round? I think I'd rather clean sheet shield for this round and max captain next round. What's your current rank? 7,000? 6,000? I can't remember. Whatever it said in yesterday's video. Actually, I can just find out, can't I? 7,360. There you go. Which is not bad considering I had a really poor start. But yeah, I've been killing it in the knockouts, which is nice. I want to keep doing that. But I don't know how. Maybe Marino is the play. And do I just sacrifice my last transfer? Do I go... I mean, the other thing I could do is downgrade Koundé, but I don't think that helps me. It doesn't help me. I think this is probably what I'm going to do. Yamal or Doué is a 12th man. Yamal. Doué's not playing. Or he's not starting, sorry. Why max captain next round? I think there'll be more chaos. Less predictability, which means things that take away randomness from your score is a good thing. Why not Spain defense? do we really think, okay, does anyone genuinely in this chat think that France is not scoring against Spain? Does anyone here genuinely think that Spain are keeping a clean sheet? I just cannot see it. Thoughts on Yarthabau as a punt? I mean, he's the 4th best forward probably in the game remaining, so sure. Nobody is keeping a clean sheet. Yeah, fair. Just hoping Cucurella manages to score. It could happen. Chocolate Lovin says, si, senor. A lot of people saying they don't think anyone. We really think Cucurella is going to get a goal on assist. Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible. But, like, I honestly think Spain, throughout this entire tournament, have been massively underwhelming in attack. So against a team infinitely more difficult than anyone they've faced so far, what are realistically the chances of Cucurella scoring? Like, is it actually any higher than than any other defender in the game, really? Maybe. Yes, Spain clean sheet is possible. Of course it's possible. I'm not denying it's possible. Look at Spain's 11 versus 11 history against France. No. No. Why would I do that? Look at this Spain team right now compared to the Spain team that, you know, obviously did really well against France last game. It's a completely different team. Nico Williams is non-existent now. Yamal is just not in any good form whatsoever at the moment. Marino did well in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Marino's not in the starting 11 anymore. And, you know, obviously he's not been fully fit. They just played Spain last year, man. 5-4 Spain. Yes, I know. I watched that game like everyone else. It was a beautiful game. But this is not the same Spain team. This is not the same France team. So how can we use that comparison? Now, if you said this is something that happened, like, I don't know, 2 months ago, and the teams were very similar, then I take your point. But one head-to-head history usually has incredibly little correlation to future results. Incredibly low correlation. Like, most of the time, the scores, tactics and systems are very similar. Systems beat individual performances. Bright's the same. All right, okay. We want to do this? Let's do this. Spain versus France, head to head. Let's go. I am more than happy to do this. So, how far do we go back? Probably not to 1922. Let's go to this 5-4 game. This was the brilliant game, like just over a year ago, right? So, wait. Can we even go as far back as to 2021? Probably not. Well, we've got to go here, really. So this is a one unique game that was crazy. We had Nico Williams going mad, not even playing. Mikel Merino was going mad in that game, not even playing. We had a penalty from Yamal. You know, penalties just happen. Like, it is pretty random when we see penalties. We saw Pedri score. Pedri's not starting. We saw Lamine Yamal with another goal here. Yamal's out of form. So if you go through these players, and we're saying, oh, it's exactly the same. It's like the same. Nico Williams not starting, Marino not starting, Pedri not starting. One of the goals was a penalty, and the other goal was by a player who is bang out of form right now. How is that the same? And we're using a one-game sample size. This is not data. This is just one glorified friendly that happened 13 months ago. Like, come on, man. Come on. We cannot be serious right now. We're really basing our entire World Cup semi-final decisions from a glorified friendly from over a year ago that had completely different players in it. And it was the most unique, chaotic game ever. It stands out in the memory because it was so unexpected. Man, if you want to do it, fine. Beat them in 20... Oh, fine. Man, we want to go 2 years back. We want to go 2 years back, we can do that. Look at this, man. Kolo Muani starting up front. Like, this was tournament Giroud was still playing, wasn't it? Thoughts on Porro attacking threat? Will it return? I would say that the chances of that happening are pretty low. But I think the chances of any defender scoring or assisting is pretty low in isolation. It's pretty low. And like, I mean, look at Spain this tournament, man. Look at them. 0-0 against Cape Verde, 4-0 against Saudi Arabia, fair play. Just 1-0 against Uruguay, 3-0 against Austria, fair play. Struggled to score against Portugal. Struggled to score again. Last minute winner against Belgium. Their attack has looked toothless all tournament. So I'm more than happy to back against them. But look, it's so difficult in these international tournaments because people are so tied to a specific team, right? So I can give my opinion, you guys can give your opinion. Like, if we have a different opinion, we're probably not gonna probably not gonna match on that, right? But all I can make my fantasy decisions on, and the way I want to talk about fantasy, I can only talk about fantasy football and fantasy football picks from my perspective, because who else perspective do I have in my brain? I only have my own, right? And my perspective is that France look untouchable. Spain look toothless. And therefore, if I want to play a high risk, high reward strategy, which is backing one team significantly more than another, then I am going to back the team that I prefer, which is France over Spain. Now, England versus Argentina, I genuinely do see as a tighter fixture. I wouldn't say I'm like super confident that France will beat Spain, but I think that the chances of France beating Spain is significant enough that I'm willing to go there. England versus Argentina, I cannot call. I really, really cannot call. But what I will say about Argentina is they are being run into the absolute ground. Into the absolute ground. Messi, 100 years old, having to play 120 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes. Oh yeah, he did get his rest, didn't he, in round 3? Yeah, played a lot in round 1 and 2. We've seen players for Argentina last game having to get subbed off early because they're just too fatigued. We've seen a few occasions, actually, where a lot of the Argentina players are having to get these early subs because they are so knackered. They're just so exhausted from it. Argentina's top scorers of the World Cup. Hell yeah, man. Look if they've played, though. Messi's walking 70% of the time. That's a fair point. But yeah, look at Argentina's run, man. Like Switzerland. I mean, bear in mind that 2 of those goals were in additional time. They've played more minutes. Not only have they played easier teams than any other team in the tournament, but they've played more minutes than any other team in the tournament. So it's not entirely surprising that they've scored more goals. But like, what team have they faced that is remotely on the same level as England? And that sounds like I'm doing the classic arrogant English fan thing. I'm really not. If we replaced England with Portugal or, you know, Belgium or anyone, I'd be saying the same thing. Is Molina going to start? I think he will. Is Gordon a good pick? I think he is. Captain Messi or Kane day 2? As an individual, I still do prefer Messi, because this is the stupid thing when you're playing an analytical game of fantasy, which is what I try to do these days. Yes, I think Argentina are less likely to score than England, so I think England will score more goals than Argentina will, probably. But of the goals that Argentina score, Messi is so dominant in that, you know, kind of thing. So it's like a case of like, If England score twice, Kane's probably involved in one if he's fortunate. If Argentina score once, Messi's probably involved in that one goal, again, if he's fortunate. So it's like, from that perspective, Messi, I think, has both goal and assist threat. He's super involved in everything Argentina does. Whereas Bellingham and Kane, whilst I think they have perhaps a higher upside and a higher ceiling, because I think England do have the potential to score more goals, particularly if, you know, later in the game, Argentina are a little more fatigued, then, yeah, it could be that your guy ends up getting both goals or, you know, a goal and an assist. But it's difficult to say, man. How many minutes do you think Molina will play? 70? Something like that? Assuming he's good, which I think he will. I really like the Reece James shout. He plays in midfield mostly and has scouting bonus. Really want him. Yeah, man, I totally get it. I'd like to find a way to get him in too, but... And there is a way for me to do it. It is to sacrifice Concert and Marino and go pretty cheap. Pretty cheap there. Lautaro Martinez or a Yarthabal? Definitely a Yarthabal. What about Formula Munoz up top? No. The forwards are too powerful in this game, man. The forward is a position where I would be unwilling to compromise, I guess. Marino isn't starting. I'm well aware, my friend. I'm well aware. How many transfers are you using? Right now, 4. The other option for me, it's a little, is it too risky to go for Reece James? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if I was to go for James here, then I do that by going for like a cheap Argentina midfielder who I hope, basically will have to hope plays. So 5.8, I'd be looking at Gonzalez. And hope he starts. Again, he's going to get scouting bonus there. Paredes, I mean, he has been starting, but he got the early sub last match day for fatigue. So, how many minutes is he starting in the next game? Don't know, man. Don't know. Paredes is starting. How sure are you about that? Has Gaston said anything yet? Do free transfers roll over? No. I mean, let's just do some research. Let's just do some Argentina predicted lineup versus England. See what people are saying. These are all just going to be England, England, England. Okay. Let's just go for a whole bunch of different sources here. Okay. Let's see here. Just show me the predicted lineup, man. Martinez, Molina, Medina. Why would Medina? Wait, what? Medina in centre-back, potentially, they're saying, instead of Romero. Why wouldn't it not just be Otamendi there? Doesn't make any sense. That is a pretty... That would be a crazy defensive partnership. Is that likely? Any Argentina fans? Paredes was Argentina's best midfielder last year. My issue with Paredes is not his ability. It's his fatigue. He was subbed off because he physically couldn't play anymore because he was so exhausted. Which is my concern. You don't think that's true? It is true. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Well, they've... I just want to continue without supporting you, to be honest. Let's go away. So many pop-ups. Okay. So they're suggesting a possible back five. Who knows, man? Who knows? Let's see this one. So this is just essentially giving the same lineup as the last game, which is not particularly useful. But alas. So of the cheaper guys, maybe Paredes most likely to start. But like, what are we realistically expecting from him as a defensive midfielder? Like, what are we actually expecting? Probably not much. O'Reilly, I'm just a little bit worried about. Maybe going for James and O'Reilly is too much of a risk. What I really need is some journalists in the next half an hour to come out with some leaks. Baena or McAllister? Probably McAllister, to be honest. Best 12 man, out of all of the players who cost 9.5 million or more, pick the one you don't have as your 12th man. I think it's pretty much as simple as that. James is getting 50 to 60 minutes max. I did mention this before. I mentioned it in yesterday's video as well. I'm actively looking for players who are going to get subbed early. Preferably, I want them to play more than 60 minutes, but I want players who are going to go off, well, certainly in defense, I want players who are going to come off at 70-ish minutes. And I think that includes players like James and O'Reilly. No chips for me this week. No boosters. Tchouameni or Rabiot? I prefer Rabiot if I had to choose one. Best 12 man, I already answered that like 60 seconds ago. What about DePaul? I mean, if you can get to DePaul, like you definitely could do. He's still got scouting bonus, and he's going to have a little bit more attacking threat than a Paredes. So yeah, you definitely could do. If I were to do it, it would mean no James. But that would be fine. I mean, I could even just keep Cucurella. I don't think I want to do that. I really want to bet against Spain's defense. I think that's a good bet. Well, it's a good bet to make. It's a interesting bet to make. Could go Mark Gay here. Maybe try and get an attacking return from a defender. Go for the more attacking of the defenders here. Because he's good for minutes. Something like that. Don't despise it. Is having one Spain player an issue? It's an issue if you don't like risk. It's a huge issue if you don't like risk. I do like risk. DePaul has an injury. Yeah, there is that. There is that. But I mean, like... I don't know. I don't know. Because there was... Yeah, I mean, I've got it literally on screen. But there have been rumours circulating that DePaul could be a sub. Don't know who's going to come in though. And I don't know if I'm super confident in this anyway. I think I'd rather just go for Paredes. I think I'm more convinced by Paredes' minutes. I think he'll be needed. Even if he is fatigued, I think he'll start at least. McAllister all day. Hey, if I had an additional 1 million, you're looking for an attacking return and you're leading Gahey over Cucurella. Yeah, fair point. Fair point. It's not that I'm leaning Gahey over Cucurella for an attacking return. It's that I'm intentionally trying to avoid Spain defense. That's just the way I want to play it. Maybe I should make 2 teams here. One for like you guys to not complain about and one for me to actually do what I want to do with my team, considering there is a clear conflict of interest here. Do we know Adina will start? Yeah, he's in the starting lineup. It's announced. England versus Argentina has a much better chance of a clean sheet. I mean, much better chances may be an exaggeration, but yeah, England have the best clean sheet odds. And I'm all about edges. I just like to find an edge. Would I be willing to go for Reece James? Is the risk too high? I don't know. Why no Mexico players? Why do you think? Why Gahey and not Konza if he's cheaper? I mean, I just had the money in the bank there to do it, so yeah, money wasn't an issue in that particular instance. Okay, right now I'm looking at this and quite liking it. Who are your differentials? They will be Paredes, Tagliafico, James. So yeah. This is an interesting lineup, I think. Mohammed with a super chat here says, would you go Ruiz / McAllister and Konsa or Baena and Reece James? Your safer bet is like a McAllister and Konsa. But the riskier play would be Baena and Reece James. Not had any mention of Stones. The problem is Stones is at very high risk of dropping out of the starting 11. Because what we could very well see is either Reece James or Jed Spence go into the right back position. And if that were to happen, then Konsa would go into the centre back position, presumably, and Stones would drop out, presumably. So, yeah, Stones is high risk, but without really the reward. At least with someone like Reece James, I do think there is genuine, high reward, high potential there to get something good out of that. Gordon versus Olmo, who do you think is better? I think Gordon. Dan, you need more Spanish players? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Best 8 mil or less midfielder to go with either Simon or Magnon. Can't have both French. I mean, Barcola is definitely interesting. Barcola and Gordon are my 2 favourites there. And probably Olmo third, maybe. Hasn't Stones and Gahey looked better as a pair, though? Is that true? Is that not just the fixtures they've played together? I don't know. But Konsa's played every game so far and played well. Meshwal says, no Messi for Kane. Sorry, no Messi. For Kane, is it worth Madueke differential? I don't think Madueke will start, to be honest. I think Saka will come back in the starting 11. And is it worth bringing Messi in for Kane? I think I would only bring in Messi for Kane if that 0.5 million is going to serve you well somehow, I would say. Is it silly to go triple French midfield? No, not in my opinion. Dan, who's the best midfielder for 6.2 million? Probably Baena. But you could go for Marino, hope for something off the bench. Could go for Paredes. Could go for DePaul. Those are probably the best you're going to get for 6.2 or less. There's not much out there, really. We're kind of all getting fairly cornered into picks, which is why you make the difference in your team by doing something crazy like me and not going for any Spain players, pretty much. Or just one Spain player, I guess. I'm not using max captain, no. How do you have 6 France players? I can only get 5 in. I can guarantee you can get 6. You're missing one. Is it a goalkeeper? Count again. Double check the goalkeepers. Dan, does upgrading Martinez to James worth not having Pickford as a Magnon backup? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. It depends. It depends what defenses you would rather invest in. I've decided that I want to go for a fairly extreme tactic and go basically all in on England and France primarily, with a little bit of Argentina. But if you want to spread it out a little bit more, 2 England is fine. But I'm going 3. And very intentionally picked players as well. How do you feel about Anderson? He has scouting bonus and he can easily get an assist. I think easily is an exaggeration. I don't think he's got any better chance of getting a clean sheet than, an assist than, a lot of the defenders, to be honest. What happens if Spain goes through? Nothing. I have a load of France players in the third place playoff game. And this is what I need to keep reminding some people of. If you get it wrong, you take a risk and you get it wrong on who qualifies, then there is no consequence in terms of players getting knocked out. So you can go for 6. And by the way, 6 transfers next round anyway, but you can go for 6 France players and everything's fine because you'll still get them for the third place playoff game in Matchday 8. Like there is a scenario in which, say it's like a 1-1 draw between France and Spain. Baena is involved in the Spain goal and Koundé and Digne are subbed off before that happens, then I'm absolutely massively winning despite only having 1 Spain player. Yes, 275 likes. We need more. Fair point, Jeremy. We do need more, don't we? We do need more. We need to get to 500 again. I can't lock my team in until we have 500 likes. Do you get another 6 transfers too? Yeah, man. 6 transfers and nobody gets knocked out. You're basically going to be able to get whatever team you want in the final round. And the only constriction is going to be budget. So, yeah, we can take some risks this round, I think. I actually think next round is going to be more important to get things right than this round. I think because there's going to be more points on offer next round compared to this round. I think this is going to be a fairly low impact round. In fact, this will probably be on like average throughout the entire tournament on like our average scores combined between all of us. It's going to be probably the lowest scoring match day of the entire tournament. Is Doué as my 6th player worth to transfer off? I mean, I wouldn't remove him for a -3, no. But if you can do it if you can remove him for free as a free transfer, I would do that. Yeah. Max captain next round. For me, yes. Do I think this team is final? I'm kind of waiting around for like little leaks and stuff like that, to be honest. Oh, it says Matchday 6 deadline. I do apologize. Let me fix that for you guys. Well spotted. How's no one spotted that yet? Do you think Reece James will start? I think it's more likely than not. Bro Doué isn't playing. Yeah, no, he's not. But I don't think he's worth taking a hit to remove. Wait, so there'll be a fantasy round for the third place. Yeah, well, not an entire round, but like Matchday 8, which is going to start on the 18th of July. The final's not till the 19th of July. So on the 18th, which is in 4 days, we're going to have the third place playoff game, which is going to be the first game of Matchday 8, the final Matchday. And then the final itself is going to be contained within that as well. I also still have one free transfer to use here. And I'm just struggling to find a way to use it, to be honest. Frederick says, if you go all in on France and England, both win their games, 10 to 11 players will meet in the final. Many transfers will go to balance the team. Thoughts? Fine with it. We'll have 6 free transfers to use. So I'm absolutely fine with it. I can remove every France player in my entire team if I wanted to. But what I'd more likely do is if it was a France and England final, I'd remove probably Pickford and replace him with Simon. I'd remove one of James or O'Reilly. I keep all my France, of course. What I'd probably do is I'd remove England players for Spain players, essentially. But I would keep Kane and Bellingham, most likely. So I'd probably go Cucurella and Porro in for James and O'Reilly. I'd probably go Simon. So we'd do instead of a triple up on England, I'd switch it to a triple up on Spain's defence, which I think would be fine. And then, I don't know what else I would do. That's 3 transfers. I still have 3 more transfers to use after that. Wait, why no max captain? The match for third will be heavy rotation. It won't be heavy rotation. It'll be a small amount of rotation, and we'll have all of the information pre-deadline. We'll know exactly who is being rotated pre-deadline. So it's the perfect scenario. Rotation, chaos, and you get to take advantage of it with your max captain. You have 0 trust in Spain? No, I have max trust in France. There's no such thing as a bad team at this stage of the tournament. There's no such thing as a bad team. They're all great teams. But depending on your style of playing fantasy football, I'm definitely someone who likes to take a risk. I like to, shoot for the stars, shoot for the moon. And this is just my strategy. If you don't like it, you don't have to do the same thing. I would never begrudge you for going for a very balanced team. But yeah, I just quite like this idea. I like this idea. I have no Spain defenders very much intentionally. I've removed Spain defenders because I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. And I don't think Spain defenders will have much attacking threat against France specifically. It could happen. Anything can happen, and I might be wrong. But I think looking at the odds of various outcomes, I think a lot of people will go heavy on Spain defense. I think that is a good bet to take against Spain defenders. If you're happy to take a risk, it's the kind of risk I like. Max captain, not for me. No max captain for me, saving it till next round. I think there's more chaos next round, which means max captain is going to be very, very helpful. Very helpful. Is Consa playing? I think Consa will start. Do you think Upamecano instead of Koundé is fine? You can do. I prefer Koundé just because Koundé more likely to get an early sub, which protects him against late goals. Thoughts on Yamal instead of Marino while sacrificing the defense? I mean, yeah. I mean, if you can somehow manage to get Yamal instead of Marino just by downgrading your defense a little bit, then I absolutely would do that. But at least have playing defenders, I would say. Aren't you worried about Yamal masterclass? Not really. I mean, look, like I keep saying, anything can happen, of course. But we've not seen a Yamal masterclass so far. Why would it suddenly start against the best team in the world? You know? Anything can happen, but like we're playing a fantasy game. All we can do is try and predict things. And it would be surprising to me. Possible. Totally possible. but surprising to me if this was the game Yamal suddenly turned up. Any news on DePaul? Struggling to find anything, but all of my search results are in English. And the Argentinian journalist I usually use has not given anything away. So for that reason, I'm going to go for Paredes. Vasco Moutinho just given $2 here as a super sticker. I don't know if you meant to put in a message there, Vasco, but if you did, throw it in the chat. Throw your message in the chat and I'll keep an eye out for it. Don't worry about doing another super chat. Just put it in as a normal chat. I'll keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye out for it, my friend. Koundé over Tagliafico. I mean, Koundé is the better pick than Tagliafico, I would say, most likely. Is it okay to have one starting keeper? A lot of people are going with that strategy. I have no problem with it. I have no problem whatsoever with that strategy. Do you think average points and last round points are essential when making a team? I pretty much pay zero attention to past points when picking fantasy picks. I mean, you can use past points as an indication, but it's far more important to know why the player got the points. So, for example, just so you can know if it's repeatable. So, for example, Kabasi and Olmo's assists last match day. If you just look at the points alone, you're going to say, wow, Kabasi is the best attacking defender from Spain, and Olmo must be a super creative guy. But that was not the case. It's just good fortune with their assists. It happens. Vasco here, Marino and Pickford, or Gordon and discard goalkeeper. I'm going for something more along the lines of Marino and Pickford. Just to spread my risk for the goalkeepers and kind of just to counter the potential that France lose their clean sheet. Because if France lose their clean sheet and I don't have a backup, if I'm not going for Spain players, I'm in trouble. And I don't want to be in trouble. So for that reason, I'm going for Pickford as a backup. But I think Gordon and discard goalkeeper is totally viable. It's such a viable strategy. And I don't want to pretend like one strategy is obviously better than the other. It's super tough this week because there are so many right answers. Because it's going to be a low-scoring match day, I think whoever happens to score most points this match day, if I come away with 100 points this match day, I won't be saying, oh, look how skillful I am. I'll be saying, look how lucky I am. So anyone who scores a lot of points this week, I think it's just going to be luck. If anyone scores low points this week, it's just going to be luck. The luck factor is pretty high this week. Not the chaos factor, the luck factor. Because it's not going to be a case of loads of goals are going to be going in all over the place. There'll be lots of different players getting points. It will just be a very select few players who will score well, and the rest of players will score very poorly. That's my prediction for this match day. So, by having the most amount of different players in all kinds of different positions possible, who are all starting, who are all playing, you maximize, and you know, having no dead spots in your team, you maximize your chances of happening to have that random player who does well. Because I honestly, if one or two players gets more than 10 points this match day, I would not be surprised by that at all. If, you know, there are 0 clean sheets and one midfielder attacking return in the entire match day, I'm not surprised at all by that. And you know it's just going to be Elise, Dembele, or Bellingham anyway. So it's a tough week, man. It's a really, really tough week. And maybe my players will do well. Maybe some of your players will do well. You know, if you're going for McAllister or, you know, a Marino off the bench, you're going for a Gordon or an Olmo or a, you know, etc., etc. One of these players will do well, but I can't tell you which one. It's going to be very few of them. But the one that does do well will make the difference. Oh, Mesha, I did miss your super chat. I do apologise. Elise or Dembele to have Messi, Kane, and Mbappe worth it. So you're basically saying, should you sacrifice one of Elise or Dembele in order to have Messi, Kane, and Mbappe up front? I mean, as long as it's for free transfers, I think I would rather have Messi, Kane, and Mbappe than both of Elise and Dembele. And if I had to sacrifice one of Elise or Dembele, I would sacrifice Dembele. Now, I cannot stress this enough. This has all of the potential to go wrong. But it's something. Does Perez possess much attacking threat? No. No, not really. In fact, I would love to see his record, his attacking record, but it's not going to be great. So, in all of his games for Argentina, he's got last attacking return in 2023. That tells you everything you need to know. 3 years. Did he have a nice flurry around here back in the day? But and a golden assist on his debut from DM. Fair play, Paredes. But no. Sky Sports says Rice is fit to play. I mean, he was always fit. It was illness that was the issue. And we kind of knew that Rice would rule himself fit to play. I think the bigger question is he fit to play well? Which is the bigger question. Because we can't really afford Rice to be playing not at 100%. But that maybe does impact my thoughts on Reece James. I do really like Reece James, though. Best 12th man. Go through all of the 9.5 players in the game, excluding Saka. The one you don't have is the best one. Tuchel has ruled him fit to play. That actually may impact my Reece James decision. Like, genuinely. That's important. I'm just going to verify it. Is this coming in very recently? It's 48 minutes ago. Let's maybe go on here. Locked in, mate. You should, if you've been following these streams, you should know that I'm never locked in until the final whistle. Declan Rice fit, all players in full training, apart from Henderson. Conte is banned. If Rice is fit, that does reduce the likeliness of Reece James starting, because there is that chance that Spence comes in there. But also if Rice is going to play, I quite like Reece James to be there to give him some cover. Careful with the late lock-ins, mate. You'll get more emails. Oh, don't remind me, man. Don't remind him. I mean, back in full training. Looks to have recovered. Am I going to let that impact my Reece James decision? I don't think I am. I'm going to take a risk. Like I say, man, this is going to be a week where it will be a random player scoring really well. I really, really do like my strategy of intentionally picking defenders who'll get early subs. I think that may be one of the best routes to points. Riz says, got to go for dinner, mate. Lock it in. Why does you going for dinner have... What's the relevance? Why do you need me to lock in before you can go and eat food? I'm not locking in your team. I'm locking in my team later. You can lock in your team now if you want to go for food, man. That's fine. Kudu says, what's your criteria for picking the 12th, excluding Saka? Why do I think that way? I guess the simple answer is all of the best players cost 9.5 million or more, but most people don't have all of them. So Elise, Dembele, Bellingham, Yamal, Messi, Kane, and Mbappe. Those are the 7. Most people are not going to have all 7 of those. I can't tell you specifically which one you don't have. But what I do know is the one that's missing from that 7 is the player that if I'm on a 12th man, I'm looking for my team. Which of those 7 players do I not currently have? That would be the player I would be picking as my 12th man. Because those are the 7 best players in the game. Vasco says, risk Reece for Cuckoo. Only got Cuckoo and Baena from Spain. Depends if you want to spread your risk or go risky. I'm a risky manager. I'm going to go risky with Reece James. This is how I will break into the top 1,000 places in the game if I'm going to do that. The game is going to be over in 2 weeks, and I'm not going to be thinking about whatever scores I get. So I'm more than happy to take a risk. But Kukure is highly likely to concede and will likely play 120 minutes if it goes to extra time, which makes him even more susceptible to losing his clean sheet. So I think it's worth the risk. I like it. We've also got scouting bonus for James. So if James does get an early sub, he's a 9-point clean sheet. I think it's worth the risk personally for my team, but it's not something I'm necessarily comfortable recommending to other people as the right answer because I don't think it is. I think James is more likely to start than not, yes. Don't like Julian Alvarez as a pick, generally. What would you do differently if you had a clean sheet shield? Not much, to be fair. Not much. I mean, is that true? No, okay. I would just pick, the most attacking defenders, generally, I think. Brudes here says, Concert O'Reilly to start. Thoughts on having a 5.1 million Kante midfield? I'm stuck with funds. I think it's fine. I'm pretty much doing the same thing with Paredes, to be honest. Except Paredes will start, but he won't score more than 2 points. I mean, I guess there's a small chance, but, it's pretty unlikely. So I'm pretty much doing a similar thing to you anyway, I guess. But yeah, Concert and O'Reilly. Concert more likely to start than O'Reilly. I don't think either of them are guaranteed, though. But I think both should start. It's so difficult to call the England defense right now. I think Gahey is the only player who I'm very confident will start. Everyone else, some degree of risk. But more likely to start than not for Concert and O'Reilly, I would say. Do you think Spence will start? I think he is less likely to start than start. Would you be tempted to do a throwaway keeper for Gordon instead of Paredes? I would definitely be tempted. I would definitely be tempted. Kudu says, Ayathabal, Saka, and Lamine, the 3 options for my 12th man. Thoughts on the first 2 being better choice than Yamal? I don't. If I thought that, I would have said that. No, honestly, look, I have a feeling you're challenging this Lamine idea because I've said it a few times now that I like Lamine Yamal, just pick the expensive guy. That would be my preference. That is what I would do if it was my team. But it's not my team we're talking about your team. And if you genuinely do prefer a Ayathabal or Saka to Yamal, and it's totally fine if you do, I don't think there's a huge amount in it, regardless, then you've got to go with your gut because you are going to regret it if you make a decision based on what someone else has said and, it goes horribly wrong. If you feel strongly one way or the other, go with what your gut is telling you, go with how you feel. Really, I'm happy to try and help you with 50-50 decisions where you're kind of on the edge. You just want to say, Dan, point me in one direction. I'm really not sure. I'm more than happy to do that. But you will regret it if you make decisions based on things that you're not confident about. Yamal to Bellingham to free up some cash. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind it at all. Could be okay. Oh, man, if I have to answer the 12th man question again, I'm thinking my brain's going to pop. The best 12th man, because I don't know who is in your team currently, is whoever, the most expensive player in the game, whose name is not Saka, who is currently not in your team, is the best 12th man. That's all I can say. Need a midfielder for 6.4. Marino off the bench. Maybe. Throw a keeper for Barcola over Gordon. That one I'm not as keen on. No. Lewis here says, just another thank you, fella, for the fantastic FPL this year and now winning my World Cup League 2. Good stuff, Lewis. Good stuff. More than happy to help. More than happy to help. And thank you very much for the support. Appreciate it, man. Comedy Addict says, best 5.9 or less or... Oh, sorry. Best midfielder 5.9 or less or Gordon and throwaway goalkeeper. It really is just dealer's choice at this point. Like, people are going to have very different opinions on this, and I don't think there's a right answer. I really don't think there's a right answer. I'm going to go for the backup goalkeeper to protect me against my lack of Spain attack. But going for a cheap goalkeeper and Gordon is fine. It's absolutely fine. Max captain now or next? I'm going for next match day. I've spoken about it a lot why I'm doing that. No defender Spain, it's a fix, bro. What do you mean by that, Jeremy? Should I chuck in Munoz for Messi and gain some funds? No. Nah, definitely not. Best 7.8 or under midfielder? Probably Gordon for me. Possibly Olmo, but I think I prefer Gordon. How come Paredes over Paul? Budget, man. Budget. And also DePaul is potentially injured. There's been some rumours about DePaul being out injured. What does Max Captain do? It automatically assigns your captain armband to whoever scores the most points in your team. Olmo and Dina or Barcola and Lisandro Martinez? I think I prefer Olmo and Dina out of those two options. I think. Do I? That's a really tight one. I think Olmo and Dina. You know, if you said Barcola and like Tagliafico, then I'd probably say Barcola and Tagliafico. But yeah. Luka Dean or Nico O'Reilly? I think probably Luka Dean. Paredes starting? Yeah, I think he should start. He's just like a cheap starting midfielder. It's either that or I go for like ultra cheap, but then I don't really know what I would do with the rest of the money. Maybe upgrade Baena. Like if I was to go down to 5.1, I'd only free up another 0.5. That doesn't really take me anywhere that I love. I mean, I maybe get McAllister, but I don't know. My other option is just to go something a little more interesting. And go for, where is he? Gonzalez. But I'm so concerned that if Gonzalez doesn't start, that I won't even put him on. He's just not getting the minutes, is he? Like Paredes, is there a chance I can get some tackles from him, maybe? Is that a possibility? 3 tackles there, for example. There's a chance. Captain a defender with clean sheet booster? No, I don't think so. Tackle points are such a risk. I mean, they're low likeliness, if that's what you mean. But he's just there to be a super cheap backup, really. No boosters this week for me. O'Reilly, Dina, or Upamecano. I think I like Dean the most out of those 3. Upamecano or Koundé. I prefer Koundé. Like the early subs. Saka or Oyarthabal. Oh, sorry. Saka and Oyarthabal or Kane and Gordon. Definitely Kane and Gordon, I think. Unless you want to really spread your risk a little more. How sure are you that James will play? I'm going to say like 60 to 70% sure. Like, I'm reasonably sure. You reckon Stones will start? Not personally, no. Personally, I don't think Stones will start. Man, maybe there's a few too many risks in this team, but like, this is the week to take risks, I think. This is the week where we're going to get the random results. Could pay off. Think Mainu will play? No, I really don't think Mainu will play. So is Tagliafico locks for you, Dan? I would say Tagliafico is not going anywhere at this point. Hayden says, with a super chat, thank you very much. Hayden says, my defenders are Kunde, Dean, Cucurella, O'Reilly, Tagliafico, 1 free transfer. My question is, if I don't have the money to upgrade attack, Cucurella to Konsa. Only if you want to take on the same strategy where you're betting against the Spain defense. Only if. If you don't want to do that, or you feel uncomfortable with that, then absolutely do not do it. I think for most people, the answer is no. I would not move Cucurella to Konsa unless you just really want to make a big play. But honestly, to Konsa, I'm not sure that's an improvement. I'm not sure that is an improvement regardless. I'm going to say no. I think it's if you're going for someone like James or O'Reilly as your Cucurella replacement, then you're gaining attacking threat and you're gaining... Well, you're not gaining attacking threat necessarily, but you're picking players with similar attacking threat with better clean sheet odds. O'Reilly or Konsa. O'Reilly is the better high risk, high reward pick. Konsa is the safe pick. Also max captain this week or next. I'm using max captain next week. Captains for me, it's going to be Mbappe today, and I don't know, man. Tomorrow I'm between Messi and Bellingham, I think. Very tempted to go Bellingham. Give me something extra to cheer about, I guess. Is Barcola worth it? Maybe. He's not a bad pick at all. If you can afford to get him. It's more about what are you sacrificing in order to get him. Right, should we get to 500 likes and I'll lock this team in? I think it's about time. Marino 12 man? I don't think so. Yeah, I could do Baena to Marino. Nah, it's not worth it, is it? It's not worth it. Alternative to James. If you just want safety, go for Konsa or Gehi. 4 million goal. There's only one 4 million goalkeeper. He plays for France. So as long as you don't want to fully load up on France, it's fine. No boosters for me this week. James or Stone? Definitely prefer James to Stones. Would you be taking the risk if you were top of your fantasy league for money? Probably not, no. Probably not. No, if you're winning your league, then all the more reason to play a measured game. But I'm not really competing for league. Well, that's not strictly true. There is one league I'm kind of competing for that has a prize in. I'm not telling you what it is, so forget about it. So yeah, I guess I'm competing for that, but I'm not that bothered. I'm so used to taking risks in fantasy games by this point that I'm kind of used to it going wrong sometimes. But I also know how fantastic it feels when it goes right. Jeremy, 0 Spain defender in your FPL team. It's final decision, bro. Nothing's final decision until I lock in my team, which I haven't done. But I'm not. That's a strategy, and I cannot stress this enough. And I swear, if anyone comes back to me by the end of this evening and say, Dan, I picked 0 Spain defenders because of you, and now it's all gone wrong and it's all your fault. Don't do it then. If you don't like the risk, please, I beg you, do not go without Spain defenders. If you don't like the risk. I do like the risk. And if you like it too, I genuinely think this is a good risk to take. And if France score in the first 10 minutes, you're going to be very pleased. Worth taking a -3 to remove Cucurella? No. This is a strategy thing. It is a minor, like a slight edge kind of decision rather than a big, grand, this player is much better than this player. Would you say you're much more reserved, less risky when it comes to FPL? Sadly, no, which has served me very well in the past, but also very poorly. How are we doing for likes? How are we doing for likes? $447. We can do better than that. 500 likes and I'll lock in the team. It's the play, isn't it? Paredes or McAllister? If I had the money for McAllister, I would 100% be going for McAllister. No doubt about it. James or Conser? James if you like a risk, Conser if you don't. What about Fabian Ruiz? Yeah, you could do. You could do. Are you sure James will start? Nope, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think it's a really interesting risk, though. Really interesting risk. I love how you pronounce Cucurella. One more time, please. Oh, there you go. DePaul, I'm worried about his injury situation, to be honest. We're 500 likes. Should we lock this in? I still have one free transfer as well. But yeah, I think I'm just going to run this. This is really risky for me this week. I appreciate that I'm playing quite a risky game this week, but I've got all the big hitters. And I think this is the kind of week that requires risk. So I'm going to do it. Frederick, thank you for the super sticker. Let's save. So it's going to be, for me, Vargas to Pickford, Martinez to Dina, Manzambi to Paredes, and Cucurella to James. And I still have one free transfer, so I can bring Cucurella back in if I wanted to. Or change my mind on James in the next 10 minutes if I wanted to. But surely I'm not going to do that at this point. Let's confirm the transfers. Man, this is a risky play. I love it, though. So we're going to throw Dina in instead of, I don't know. Imagine a world in which both O'Reilly and James are benched. It could happen. It could happen. In fact, for that reason, it might even be worth putting Tagliafico in there. Well, I can change this around when we come to the day anyway. I'm going to go like this. Mbappe captain. Confirm. Yeah, that looks good. Looks good. Josh with the super chats. Thank you very much. Josh says, hello, Dan. I'm awake and made my transfers, but got a question for you. What's your go-to meal deal? Recently, I'm liking a chicken triple, a salt and vinegar McCoy's, and an orange Lucozade Sport. That's what I'm running a lot at the moment, which I very much enjoy. Papul says, Baena, Tagliafico, Mins risk, full free transfers, replacements. I mean, Tagliafico, I think he does have some minutes risk, but he is good in the sense that you want players who are going to get subbed early. So I actually like Tagliafico for that reason. Plus, he's got scouting bonus. Baena is starting. We know he's starting. There's a good chance he gets subs at some point, but yeah, he's starting, which is the key thing sorted. Dice, thank you for the super sticker there. Not sure if there was meant to be a message there, but I think it was a little below the fresh threshold. Good choice. We approve of that. We approve of that meal deal. Missing the rating team streams. We're gonna run them back. I think we'll do a couple over the summer. As soon as the new FPL game starts, we'll do regular preseason team rating streams. Be good to get a few of you guys involved, all members, of course. Here for FPL here says, damn mate, English defender 4.8 or less. Have O'Reilly already. Concert, all the best. Yeah, Concert is your safe bet for 4.8 or less for England defense. Yamal or a Yarthabal for 12 man. I prefer Yamal. Famous last words. There's not much in it. 3 people asking that in a row is crazy. I think I prefer Yamal. Because you got set piece, you got pieces share there, you got penalty share there. You've probably got more minutes. You probably get 120 minutes from Yamal, where you might not from a Yarthabal. So I think I'm leaning Yamal. Plus money is no issue. You get a clean sheet point if he keeps a clean sheet. You get points for key passes and tackles potentially. Yeah, I think I'm leaning Yamal. Meshroll says, I have a budget problem, so I have 2 questions. One, between 2 France defenders or James and Taliafico. Depends what the rest of your defense looks like, really. I would try and include at least 1 France defender. I think personally I would want 2 France defenders. So if you don't even have 1 France defender, I would definitely at least get 1. James is risky. Taliafico I like. But if you like a risk, James, Taliafico, high risk, high reward. France defenders, a little bit more sturdy. Question number 2, keeping a Yarthabal for Doué out. Or keep Messi for Dembele out. And Doué still on. Okay, in that situation, I think I would just remove Doué. May free up some money for you as well for other moves. 2 of 3, Molina, Martinez, Taliafico. I'm going to say, if you want to play it safe, Martinez is your guy. I would definitely pick Taliafico out of those 2. So I think I would say Taliafico. And then if you want to go safe, Martinez. If you want to go higher risk, higher reward, I would go Molina. James isn't starting. I had no idea Thomas Tuchel's in the chat. Thanks for letting me know, Thomas. If you are first in your mini league, you should probably max captain now. Disagree. More points to be gained next week, in my opinion. Like, come on, like, who's if someone's going to show up against Spain, it's Mbappe, right? Last 8 games for Spain, Yamal 1 assist, Yarthabal 7 goals, 1 assist. I know that's not true because I've seen Yamal score in this tournament. But if you prefer Yarthabal, go for it, man. Go for it. But if money's no issue, and you're looking for routes to points, I prefer Yamal. There's not much in it, though. There's genuinely not much in it between the 2. Olmo or McAllister? If you can effectively spend money, spend the money saved by going for McAllister. McAllister's what, 1.1 cheaper than Olmo? So if you can effectively spend that 1.1, I would go for McAllister over Olmo. Is Barcola a safe transfer for Elise if I need the money? No, I don't think you could call it a safe transfer. No. Elise could very, very easily do very, very well. How many points from Mbappe and you'll stick? Probably like 9, honestly. Like 8 or 9. Like, honestly, my expectations for this match day are so low. So low. Look at Dean or Reece James. I'm going to say Dean because he's lower risk. And I would prefer to recommend a lower risk pick. If no one shows up today, who will you captain tomorrow? I'm still... It's between Messi, Kane, and Bellingham, let's be honest. I still don't know. I still haven't looked in that decision myself. Right now, I'm thinking Bellingham. But because I'm an England fan, I may hedge and go for Messi just to save my own heartache. Or, you know, at least, like, if England do lose, I'll be like, okay, well, at least I got some fantasy points, which is some kind of consolation, I guess. Is Elise to Dembele worth a hit? Definitely not. Definitely not. You going out to watch England tomorrow? I've been doing too much going out to watch England recently, man. I kind of just want to stay at home and just focus on the game rather than being surrounded by people and alcohol. And just, like, appreciate a game of football. Because I haven't done much of that with England. All of the other games, because I've just been watching alone, primarily. But regardless, guys, there is, like, a minute till deadline. What is it? 2 minutes. 2 minutes till deadline. The time for questions is pretty much wrapping up now. Not because I don't want to answer them, but because you need to get onto the app and actually lock in your team. And not just make your transfers, but then put the players in the right order. Remember, people always forget this. They do their transfers, and then they forget. They do their transfers right at the last minute, and then they forget to put their players in the right order. So, yeah, man, get that done. Get that done. Baena or McAllister? I think I would maybe... I don't know. There's very little between them. I guess Baena because he's cheaper. That's about it. 2 France or 2 Argentina defenders. I think I would prefer 2 France. But if you're unsure, just go 1 from each. 1 France, 1 Argentina. Bada bing, bada boom. Papul says, Baena Porro to Gordon O'Reilly. Thanks. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, to be fair. There is some risk involved with O'Reilly this week. I do want to be perfectly candid about that. But I think if it was my team, I would do that. But there is risk there. I keep saying this. Risk. I just think this match day, please manage your expectations. We are most likely making moves that will make very little impact in our team. Whatever transfer you make, it's most likely going to make very, very little impact. If you're making 5 transfers, 4 of them will be low impact. 1 of them might pay off. Is it stupid to run clean sheet shield if I have 2 England, 2 Argentina defenders? Well, not particularly. No vice captain? Magnon is my vice captain. If you're doing manual captains, vice captains don't do anything anyway. Right, let's double, triple, 100%. Just refresh in a different tab just to make sure 100% everything is looking good. And it is. What's your points expectation this week? 55 to 60? Genuinely. I'm not... my expectations are on the floor for this match day. But guys, 10 seconds till deadline. Please make sure you've saved your team. Please make sure you've figured everything out. Why Baena instead of Olmo? It's like 1.7 million cheaper. It allows you to do so much more with the remainder of your team. But that's going to be it, guys. We are going to be locked in for another match day. One more match day to go. And I think match day 8 will have far more excitement than match day 7. But you never know, man. You never know what could happen. Like, we could still have something fairly interesting. Like, one player could go off and maybe one of us has that one player. I think that's what will happen. But guys, cheers. Appreciate you joining me today. Drop a like on your way out. We are going to go because I want to go watch this match really badly. As you guys probably can attest to yourselves. But cheers, guys. We'll be back with the match day 8 content very, very soon. Stay tuned. Cheers, guys. And I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye. And also just really genuinely appreciate the support on the channel recently. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Genuinely.